Okay, so I am Carrie Hillman and I'm on the homeowner support team here at We Need a Vacation. And Sarah Da Silva is going to be co-hosting with me today, and it is her birthday today, so let's all be nice to her. Um,
Happy birthday.
so happy birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
So, just a quick note about the office hours. This is just kind of a casual time where we can get together. I'm going to do a little demo on booking management today, but we'll open it up for questions afterwards. So, if you have any questions about how it works, or if I, skipped over something too quickly, feel free to chime in and ask your question. Because we know that a lot of people live off Cape or many towns away from our office. So this is our way of being accessible and able to chat and answer questions with people live. So um, I'll just start off with a quick little poll. If people could do like the little thumbs up thing. How many people currently use booking management? Does everybody know how to do the little reactions? Okay, I see some real thumbs up. No, not using it yet. Okay.
We're in the
Not
perfect place, guys, for the
yeah.
thumbs up and thumbs down.
Okay. Okay. So I see that some people are using it, some people are not. Okay. So I'll start from the beginning to make sure we cover everything. And then is anyone using the automated messages yet? It's where you can send email reminders to people that are listed in booking management. You can send them reminders about payments or their pre-arrival info. Is anybody using that yet? No, okay. I'll touch on that a little bit. That part's a little more complicated, so we might do another office hour if there's interest in that, or there are also some tutorials that are some little videos that we have. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and then we can look at exactly how to get booking management set up. Real quick, booking management is really used to track your bookings, right? And it's going to track all of your guests, the dates that they're coming, and then it automatically blocks out your calendar, and you can track how much they owe you and what they've paid you already, and a number of other things that I'll go into, but it's just a really nice way to keep yourself organized. So let's see here, sharing the screen. Okay, so here you can see we're in a homeowner center. This should look familiar to everybody. And then over here on the right-hand side, you can see it says the guest tracker. And right here is where you access booking management. So I'm just going to go ahead and click into booking management. And here you can see this is a list of where your guests would show up. So these are all the people that are going to be staying at your home, and then their arrival and departure dates are listed right here. So you've got a nice quick list for quick reference. And the great thing about this is that, as I mentioned earlier, when you put the dates in over here, this automatically goes over to your calendar and blocks out the dates so that you can avoid any double bookings. So and as you're bringing on new guests, you can keep track of their status. So as you can see, like this person here is marked as tentative. So, maybe I've had a phone call with this person, or they've signed the lease, but they haven't made the payment yet. So as soon as they make their first payment, I go in and mark them as booked, and then that blocks out the calendar so that I know that that time slot is taken. And then, as I mentioned earlier, there are a number of things that you can track with them, and this can give you a quick view of the tracking status. So this little checkbox means I had a couple things I wanted to do with this person, and she's completed all those things, so she's all set. And then this little red bell down here would mean that there's something coming up that's due for this person, or something that's overdue that they haven't done yet. So maybe they need to sign the lease, maybe they need to make the first payment. Maybe I need to send them some information, and I can show you that as we go into the full booking. Let me see if there's anything else on this page to show you. Oh, this button up here, This has our most recent update, which we changed quite a few things in booking management. So this leads to the tutorials on that. So that's a great place to go to. I can just click on it to show you, to go to get more information. So the tabs over here, you can just click around on these to see the different information. So let's see here. Okay. So, oops, which tab am I in here? Sorry. Here we go. Okay. So back to the main booking management page. So what I'll do is I'll show you how to do an entry. So there are kind of three different ways to put an entry into booking management. You can do the quick one, you can do the full entry, which has all the information, or from your inquiries, you can go directly to booking management. So I'll show that option last. But first, the quick entry, you can see just, you'll put the arrival date, the departure date, the status. Again, that's going to be the book tentative if someone canceled or if they're on the wait list. If you have a number of inquiries for the same week, you can start to put people on a wait list until you get somebody confirmed. And then the cool thing about this is if they inquired through WeNeedaVacation, you can just go and grab their name here, and then it automatically populates first name, last name, and email. So I'm just going to, normally you would click save and then it would enter it, but I'm just going to X out of this for now. And then we'll actually do a full entry here. So I just clicked on the full entry. So let's say I've been talking with someone who wants to come next summer. So maybe they want to do September. Maybe they want to do a full week in the beginning of September here. So I put in their arrival, their departure, the status. It's going to depend on where I am in the conversation with them, but usually I start them off as tentative. So usually once I've had a phone call with someone and they're pretty serious about renting the house, I'll put them in as tentative. And then the source, I'm going to put WeNeedaVacation, but you can also input anybody from any of your other platforms that you might use as well. And if you have a different source, you can add a new source here so that you can customize those source options. Check-in, check-out time, I have that set as standard, and you can change that if you have a different check-in, check-out time. And then you want to list how many adults and children are in the party. You can put the ages of the children. This isn't meant to track the ages of the adults, just the kids, just so you know what kind of little gift to leave out for them, or leaving any certain toys out for them or something, whatever you have at your house for little kids. Okay, and then down here, you're going to put in the rental rate. So let's say that week is 3,000, and what it's going to do is automatically calculate the taxes for you right here. So it's a pretty nice little helpful feature. It'll calculate the taxes and then give you the total. And then if you are going to add additional fees, I'll show you how to do that in a minute, but you can also have those populate in, and then it will tally everything up together. So your additional fees would be like cleaning fee, or if you charge a pet fee, things like that. Okay, so again, we can look at the increase from the past year. So let's just use Poppy Hillman. So here I put her first and last name, popped in the email address as well. There's a few other details that you can fill in about the vacationer. If you want to put their address, you can put that in as well. Some people track the address for lease purposes. And then down here we get to the fun part. So this is the communications and tracking. And this is all for you. Like, the vacationer is not going to see any of this. They're not shared on this. This is just for your information to keep track of where this vacationer is and what information or payments you need from them. So what you can do here is you can do the date that you sent them the lease and the date that they completed it. Or the date that you sent them the lease. So this is the date you want to send it, and then the date that the action was completed. And then this is lease received. So the date they send it, that you want them to send it back, is the due date. And then the date they actually send it back would be the date completed here. And again, this is just for your records so that you can keep track of people. If you come into this booking and you see, oh, I sent the lease, but haven't received it back yet, that can prompt you to send them a little reminder to make sure they send the lease back to you. And then here with payments, you can split the payments up into 1, 2. There's also an option for 3 payments, but I have that one hidden because I don't typically use that. But if it was someone was staying for a month in the summertime or something, you might break up a larger fee into 3 payments. So, and you can split the payment however you want. So I could manually put a number in here, or I can show you with the defaults, there's a way to split it 50-50 if that's what you want to do. And that's typically what I do. And then there are a number of other things that you can track here. You can scroll through yourself at some point and take a look, but see if the security deposit was received, see if the taxes have been received. You can keep track of if the cleaning fee and linen fee have been received. Some people just lump that all into payment 1 and payment 2, which is what I personally do. But if you like to track those separately, that's fine too. Some people do half of the rental rate is due upon booking, and the other half is due closer to the date of arrival, and then they add the cleaning fee and the security deposit onto that second payment, as well as the taxes onto that second payment. You can track if you've sent them the info of how to access the house, or if you use real keys, if you've mailed the keys. If you've sent them their pre-arrival information. And so this would be like some sort of document or email that has information that they need to know before arriving at the house, like how many beach chairs you typically have, if they need to bring sheets and what sizes, different details about the kitchen or the coffee makers you have, anything they need to know so that they can pack less and be more prepared for what it will be there when they arrive. And then pre-departure info, again, this is just, you can put a note of when you want to send that pre-departure info to the guest. And this would be like a reminder of what they need to do before they leave. So you're going to send this like maybe the day before they leave. Send an email saying, thanks so much for staying with us. We hope you had a great time. Please remember before you leave, take the sheets off the bed and wash all the dishes, or whatever you ask them to do. You can put that into the pre-departure info. And sometimes I also send a text message separately just as well, because I don't know if everybody reads their email while they're on vacation. And then security deposit returns. This is tracking when you gave their security deposit back, and then you can keep track if you had any refunds, that you had to refund them for something. Which typically doesn't happen, but sometimes people do a little refund if a major appliance wasn't working or something else wasn't quite right with the house when the guest arrived. Okay, so that's a general overview. So all these things I just went over in the communications and tracking, these you can set up your settings so that a lot of these will just pre-populate for you. So if you like to use all these and track all these items, we'll go to settings in a second here, and I'll show you how to set it up so that it just plops those due dates in for you, and it makes it a little bit easier. And just also a quick note before we dig into the settings, I'm going into a lot of the details of a booking record right now, and you don't have to use all of these details, right? So you could just use booking management to track the dates and the payment and the name of the guest and their contact information. Even just tracking just the dates is what some people use it for. And that way it blocks your calendar and you're not doing any kind of double bookings. So really, you just want to get in here and look around and see what will be most helpful to you to keep you organized and make sure you know exactly what you need from every guest at any time. Okay, so let's scroll back down to the communications and tracking. So now I'm going to show you the settings options. You can access settings from here, and you can also access it from the main booking management page that I showed you right in the beginning. So we'll click in here from here. Oh, it wants me to save this first. Okay, that's another good reminder, is that the items in here don't automatically save. So you want to always come up here and save your work as you're going along, because you don't want to lose any of this good information you're keeping track of. And then when you click save, it's going to prompt you and say that if you changed any fees or the rental rate, that the lodging tax has been updated, just to make sure you're always giving the correct number to the vacationer. So I'm going to click OK. And then it pops me back to the main page, but let's just go back into Poppy's booking record here. Actually, no, I can just show you the settings, how to access the settings from here. So, oh, and this is actually a nice little note up here. So this is another thing that happens if you do overlap. So I added this booking in for Poppy, and it actually overlapped with this Angela booking in September here. So it gave me a little alert up here. And Angela was only tentative, and so was Poppy. And I believe if one is actually booked, it's going to prevent you from being able to save it properly. It'll give you an alert. So, okay, so let's go back to settings. So this is the other place where you can access settings. So again, back when we were in the booking record, you could click into settings, or here. It's the same settings. So then this is where I'm going to set up all those tracking items that we were looking at towards the bottom. So typically, I want to have the lease sent to my vacationer one day after I've made the booking entry. So like I mentioned before, usually I'm making the booking entry after I've had a phone call with this vacationer and they're pretty serious. Then I decide that I want them to be a vacationer. So I'm going to send them the lease, and I want that to happen right away. I don't want to waste any time. Just get that lease right out to them so I can get them signed on. And then the lease received, I asked them to send it back 7 days after I send it to them. And I use DocuSign, so it's a really quick process for them, so that they can just sign it virtually, and it gets automatically sent right back to me. And then here, remember I talked about the payments, you can split those into two. So here I split it into 50% and 50%. And the way I did that was by checking this box here. Allows you to do the percentage. If you uncheck this box under the percent column, you can do a dollar amount. So say every time you you book someone, all your weeks are the same rate, and every time payment one is going to be $1,000, and every time payment two is going to be $2,000, and you know that, and it's set, you can just do a direct dollar amount if you want. But I find the 50% is nice and flexible as the rental rate changes over the season. And here you can see is the option to show payment three, but I have that hidden. If you check this box, it hides it from being able to view it in the booking record, because I just don't use that function usually. Security deposit, I have that listed as 500. My cleaning fee is 275. I supply linens, and so I don't charge a linen fee, and then pet fee is $50 per dog. So
And Carrie, I think it's important to note too, on here, guys, where you have the settings to send reminders out so many days before. If you do get a last minute booking that is after those dates, just as a reminder, like, you get last minute bookings in the height of the season. If they are booking, say 30 days prior to arriving, the automatic payment reminder emails won't go out if it's past that. Like, so Carrie has it set for 60 days, it won't automatically go out. So just keep that in the back of your mind, that if you're used to these payment reminders going out to people, if it's past that date, you'll have to manually send it out.
Yeah. And so what we're looking at right now, actually, just to be clear though, this is not going to send them any kind of reminder yet. We haven't set that part up yet. We'll get to that at the end. So for now, this is only for you and your reminders, but Sarah's right. Yeah. If these dates, so say you want payment one to be 10 days after the booking entry date, if they're, showing up in 2 days, then you can just manually override all of these dates when you get to their booking record, and it's not a problem. So let's change this back to 50. Okay, so other reminders of things that you want to do, you can say 30 days before they arrive, I'm going to be sending them their info about the house and how to enter on the keypad with their key code. And then let's see, I'm going to be returning the security deposit 30 days after their departure date. And then we have all these miscellaneous fields that you can create your own thing that you need to remind them about or remind yourself about in relation to each guest. Okay, so again, these tracking item default settings, you never want to put like a specific information about one specific guest in here. This is generally going to be applied to every single guest that you put into the booking management system. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to do something specific about one person, go into their booking record, not into the settings area. So I'm going to save these settings, and then we'll go back to Poppy's booking record. So I go back here, I can get to the full list of bookings. And then I find Poppy's, and if I click edit over here, this is where I access all of her information. And then I'm going to scroll down to that tracking, communications and tracking section here. So you can see nothing's showing up yet. So I have to click apply defaults. This is going to apply my setting defaults and populate all these fields in here that I set it up for. So I'm going to click here, and then you can see it pops in, it's split. Oh, sorry. It's split her payment in half. It's set up the due dates of when things are going to be due. And popped in the cleaning fee and the pet fee down here. And then it also populated it up at the top as well under her additional fees here. You can see the cleaning fee was added in up here, and the pet fee, right? Yeah, cleaning fee and pet fee were both added in up here. So say, Poppy was not bringing a dog, I could just delete this, click save, and then it's going to say everything's getting recalculated. I say, okay. And then going back into Poppy's booking record, you can see here that pet fee was taken out of the additional fees here. So this is a handy little section that you can copy into your lease agreement or send in a email to the guest so that they can see what their total amount due is. Okay, so that was entering the full booking record. Does anybody have questions so far about anything here? No, pretty straightforward. Okay, so I'll show you just the quick way to enter a booking from your inquiry history page. Okay, so up here, if you go to email inquiries, you can see here that Poppy sent me an email inquiry. And if I click into that one, I can either reply to Poppy or I can add to booking management. So you always want to reply to everyone, of course. So let's just say I've already replied to Poppy, pretend, and then you're going to click add to booking management. And then it's going to bring you back over to booking management. I can put the dates in that she requested and all the other details. And then it automatically populated in the vacationer's name and email address. And then I'll go in and put all the dates and apply my defaults. And then my booking record will be made. So that's just another way to access it. If you happen to be in the inquiries page, you can just quickly add them from there. Or if you just had a phone call with someone, you can go to the booking record page and add them from there. Either way, it all goes in the same place. So let's just cancel that. Okay, so let's just see. Let me take a look at my list here. Okay, let's look at how this talks to the calendar. Okay, so if you come over here to your calendar and pricing section from your homeowner center, and then scroll down, let's go look at October where we were trying to add Poppy in. So you can see here all of this gray stuff, that's a tentative booking. And this is a little bit, oh, I was adding Poppy in September. I'm sorry. This is a little bit hard to see because I did have one tentative booking that was for the whole month of September into October. And then I was trying to add poppies as a tentative also on top of this. So it's not really showing poppies booking here, but anything that's tentative is showing up in gray without the check boxes. Anything that's confirmed is showing up in gray with the check boxes and it's marked off. So this is a confirmed booking for that first week of September. And then anything that's open, is just blank. So it's clear, open for booking. And if, say this person here wanted to stay an extra night, you have to go into your booking record to make edits to this. You can't edit it from here. So if I try to click on this, it just doesn't let me do anything. So I need to go into my booking record and add or subtract a date, whatever edit they needed from the booking records page. Okay. Any questions about calendar before we move on? No, pretty straightforward. Okay. So, oh, someone going to talk? No. Okay. So, oh, and actually, no, I already showed you the help page. Okay. So now let's look at, we'll do a little overview of how to do the automated emails. So, just go back here. Okay. So if we go back into booking management, this is where you're going to set up the automated emails. Half of the setup happens in booking management and half happens in the email template section. So let's go back to our settings. And if you scroll all the way past what we were working on earlier, down to the very bottom, you can see there's email reminder preferences and automated guest emails. This is two different types of email reminders. The first one, email reminder preferences, this is for the owner. So this is for you guys. And you can get a weekly booking management update, or you can get an overdue booking items alert. So once a week, you're going to get one or two emails, whatever you enable here by clicking this box. And the weekly booking management update is just going to be a list of what's coming up that's due with your different guests, like who owes payment to, who has to pay their security still. All the details that you haven't marked off as completed in each booking record are going to show up here. So this is the example, and you can see this is kind of what it looks like, that vacationer M. Smith. This is when they're staying, the balance received. They still owe you $1,400, and that was due a couple of years ago. So they're way overdue. So, so it's nice because it just sums everything up and you can see everything that's due. So if you have to follow up with the vacationers, you can go ahead and send them an email or text or however you've been communicating with them. And then the overdue booking, again, it's kind of similar, but this will give you a list of all the overdue items that are past due that you have to send reminders out for. Okay, so again, the email reminder preferences, that's for the owner. Only you are going to see these things. The automated guest emails, this is what's going to get sent to your guest. Okay, so you can send payment due reminders. And so for every payment you have listed in their booking record, you can set it up so that they get an email reminder for each payment that has not been completed yet. And pre-arrival info, you can set up an email so that they get automatically will get that pre-arrival info sent to their email. And then the pre-departure, again, that's reminding them what they have to do before they leave the house. And again, you can set this up to automatically go to them. And there's sort of two tiers of this. So you can have everything set up so that it's just automatically sending it out and you don't have to think about it and it just goes. Or you can set all of this up and then within each booking record, you can just click one button to have these reminders go out whenever you're ready. So let's say you had someone who was a last minute inquiry and so your schedule's kind of all messed up and you don't want them to be automatically getting these payment reminders and the due date's already passed technically of what you would normally have the due date be. You can just send those one at a time whenever you're ready, but at least they're all loaded in there and ready to go. So it can save you time from having to compose a new email each time you're sending a payment reminder. So the way this works is if you want to enable this action, you're going to click these buttons here. So I've just enabled all of them. And then this is the offset of when this email reminder is going to be sent. So remember in the booking record, we were setting up when we want that payment to be due. So this payment due reminder is going to go, in my case, 1 day before that payment is due. But you can set it up to be, it could be 15 days before it's due. It could be 5 days before it's due, whatever you want. You do only get one reminder per payment. So just think about when you want that to go out. And then this part here says template. So over in the template section of the homeowner center, we're going to set up the templates so they appear here. But right now I have payment reminder default emails, what I'm using for the payment reminder. And, whatever options that I've loaded into the templates are going to appear here and I can select whichever one I want. And again, remember, this is going to be defaulted for everybody. So this is the same one that everyone's going to get. So none of these emails should be specific about one guest or about their stay, but should be generally appropriate for all the guests that are coming and general information. The pre-arrival info should not go 1 day before the arrival date. I would recommend that's probably something more like 30 days before the arrival date to give them plenty of time to make sure they pack all the right stuff and have time to read through the email and send the email to other people in the rental party. And then the pre-departure information 1 day before departure date is good. You could do 2 if you want, but okay, so that's how you set it all up. And so you can either start here and do half of it. So you can select the ones you want or enable the ones you want and do the offset. But then before you can access the templates, you have to, of course, load those into the template section. So let's go over to the template section and take a look at how to do that. And then we'll come back here and be able to select the templates from here. Okay, so I'm going to save everything that I just did. And we'll go back to the homeowner center. So this little shortcut to the homeowner center. You could also go up here, actually. Either way, it gets you back to the same place. So here we are in the homeowner center. And the templates are located under this box, Manage Listing. So as you know, this is where most of the information that you're going to be editing about your listing is. And the email templates are right here, kind of in the middle section. So I'll click on email templates. And when you first come in here, you're going to want to toggle this button to the right to show all the sample templates. So if you have it off, it doesn't show the sample templates that we that We Need a Vacation input in here for you. But when you first come in here, it'll be empty until you toggle it over to show the sample templates. So you can see here anything with this page looking icon is a sample. And then anything with this little pink reddish person is a template that I wrote myself. So what you want to do is scroll down. We can start with payment due reminders right here. And the payment due reminder is pretty basic. So I actually still use the default. This is a gentle reminder that your payment is due for your upcoming stay in town. And so anything that's in brackets is going to be pulled from the booking record. So you don't want to change that. I mean, I guess you could, the town's not that big a deal. Usually people are just dealing with one rental home. And so that's fine. But if you're, especially if you're dealing with multiple homes, just leave this town as town. And then the amount due and the due date, that also is pulling from the booking record. So don't edit that in here in this template because you want it to pull the proper information from each different booking record. Okay, so that's pretty simple, straightforward. That is the template for payment reminders. And if you did change things, like you wanted to add more information or, bulk this email up a little bit to be more talkative or friendly, you can click Save as New, and then you're gonna be able to save it as a new template. And you can add a new template name to it so that when we go back over to the settings section in booking management, you can pull it up and use that one. So let's go back to view all templates. So here for the pre-arrival, I've created my own template for that, and the farmhouse checkout list, I've also created my own template for that. So again, if you wanted to edit anything in here, you could change it. So, I should be making a 2025 pre-arrival email, and generally it's probably going to be the same as last year's. This part in gray, you cannot change. It's automatically included, and it pulls again from the booking record to show them their arrival date, departure date, check-in, check-out time, the address of the home, and a link to your We Need a Vacation listing. And so if you are using these templates, you just want to make sure that with every booking, you're putting in the full arrival departure date, making sure they have the correct check-in and check-out time. If you've promised someone late checkout, make sure you're updating that in the booking record so that when they get this reminder email, it reflects what you've discussed with them, and they, understand that that they're checking out late or something. And then here I just have kind of a quick message, and I note that the information packet about the house, and I have another information page about beaches in Orleans, and some dog house rules that I attach as 3 different attachments with my pre-arrival email. So I'll show you how to do the attachments in a second, but if you have them attached, it says view attachments here. And so you can see I have the farmhouse info packet and the doghouse rules. And actually, I ended up including the beach information in the info packet. So that's why there's only 2 attachments. Okay. So anything else to show you here? Oh, so I can preview what the email is going to look like by clicking this button. So this is kind of what it looks like. We need a vacation at the top. It says hi, and that's going to pull in their first name and then pull in all this information for them. And then down here, it shows which attachments I have. Okay, so, and then you'll do a similar thing for the pre-departure email. It's kind of the same idea. It has the date and the time of departure, and then you can do an attachment if you have like a cleaning list or something you want to attach, or a tidying up list. Okay, so let's go back to the main email templates page, and I'll show you how to add an attachment. So manage attachments is right here, and you can do create a new attachment, and then the attachment type, I'm going to add a new pre-arrival attachment. So I'm going to click there and then choose file. It says only PDF files are allowed. So I've got the 2025 Orleans Farmhouse info packet that I'm going to attach, and I will name it 2025 packet. So there we go. So now you can see it's right here, is my 2025 info packet. So when I go back to the email templates up here, and if I want to add that attachment to a new email, so let's edit last year's 2024 pre-arrival. So email type is pre-arrival. Global template, this is handy if you have multiple listings and you select that one. This template can show up on all your different listings. So again, that's why you don't want to be making anything very specific. You want to keep everything general in here so that if you have a house in Brewster and you have a house in Orleans, when you send this template out, it's going to pull the correct information from each different listing. So the global templates is handy if you have multiple homes that you're working with. The template name is going to be 2025 pre-arrival. And I think I'm going to leave all of this stuff the same here, except for the attachments. So I want to uncheck these and add the 2025 info packet. And if you didn't have it labeled by year or you weren't sure if you had the right document, you can always click here to view it. And then that shows you, what the template actually is. But just check it off here. Then you're going to X this out. You don't save this part, you just X it out. And then if you're not sure which attachments you had, you can preview everything and it can show you that you successfully attached the 2025 info packet here. So then cancel that. And then back here, I'm going to save this. So now I have, where is it? Did I accidentally save it as 2024 pre-arrival?
You canceled it.
Oh, because I clicked cancel
Yeah.
from the, when I was in preview, I did cancel.
I'm sure.
Huh. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, let's do that one more time. Okay, this is really gonna sink in exactly how we do this. Okay, here we go. 2025 pre-arrival. I'm going to view my attachments, make sure I have the 2025 attachment selected, and leaving everything else the same. So I'm going to click save. And there it is, 2025 pre-arrival email. Okay. And see how this icon looks a little bit different? That's because it's one of the global templates. So if I had multiple homes, I could be using it on all the different homes because it's just a general pre-arrival email. Although the attachment, yeah, I guess you'd have to be careful that the attachment also is general for each house. Okay, so we're done with the templates. Now let's go back to booking management and I'll show you how to include that template and make sure it gets sent to your vacationers. Okay, so here we go, back to booking management. Let's go back to our settings here at the top. And remember, the settings for the reminder emails were all the way at the bottom. So we're going to scroll all the way down to automated guest emails. And here we are. This is the pre-arrival info right here. And it already says 2025 pre-arrival. Wow, it's smarter than I am. So say, oh, it's because I altered the 2024 one. I just changed the name of it. So that's why it's pre-populating it in here. But say you had just created a new template, you'd want to open up the list and pick out the one that you want to use, selecting 2025 pre-arrival. And again, you can preview it if you need to remember what it looked like. And then you want to make sure you click save. So now let's go to a booking and set up those emails to get automatically sent. So let's go back to our list of bookings and we'll find Poppy's booking here at the bottom. We're going to edit that one. And so let's see here. So let's just clear this form out. So say I was creating this from new. I'm going to again select the apply defaults to put in my payments, and this will also apply any enabled email reminders, things that we just set up. So here we go. Apply the defaults, and I can see she's got 2 payments coming up, and see this little clock right here? That means that whatever amount of time, remember I selected 1 day before it's due, I was going to send her that automatic email. This clock is telling me that the reminder email is scheduled to be sent 10 days. That isn't quite right. I'll have to look into that, but that might be a little error. So, but it's going to send it 1 day before the due date. So I have the due date set as 11/2. So I selected 1 day before 11/2. She's going to get that payment reminder. And then if I keep scrolling down, you can see this pre-arrival info. Again, you see this little clock, and the email is going to be scheduled to send upon the due date. So the due date was going to be 30 days before the arrival date. So here you can see it's popping that date in that pre-arrival info is going to be sent. And let's see here. If you wanted to disable the automated reminders, so say you use another booking platform, but you're just tracking all of your people in here to make sure your calendar's updated, then you can disable these automated reminders to go to them if they're already getting the reminders through the other systems. You just check this off and click save. And especially if they're paying through another listing platform, that's a good thing to do, is not send them payment reminders through our platform. So then here you can see that little clock is gone now. So they won't be getting those reminders. And also another kind of shortcut, if you wanted them to get some reminders and not others, is if you delete out this due date and click save, then it won't send them a reminder because there's no queue for it to go on a certain date because that's deleted. Okay, so I think that is everything. So just a quick recap. I showed you how to do the booking entry, like the basic booking entry, and that is just gonna show you, that's just gonna track your people and when they're coming and how much they owe you. And then I also showed you how to do the automated emails. So 2 different kinds of automated emails. One is reminders for you, the owner, and the other one is reminders for the vacationer. Okay, so Sarah, did anything come up in chat while we were going through? Any questions coming in chat?
Maybe, Carrie, I know you use DocuSign. There was a couple of questions. I sent a link for DocuSign for people to look into. But do you have one where you get 10 free something a month, or how does
Yeah,
it work?
so I believe I pay, I think it's $10 a month, and I get, I think it's 9 envelopes that I can send out each month. And that seems to be enough for me. I am just managing one house with that DocuSign account. So it's enough, but you'll just want to be careful that you're not just willy-nilly sending a lease to anybody who inquires. You just want to make sure it's a real inquiry and that they are truly interested and that you've had your phone call with them and screened them already, and then you can send them the DocuSign lease. And that seems to work pretty well. Yeah.
Great.
Anyone have any other questions about how this works? You can always check out the help page or give us a call if you have questions or an email. We also have live chat now, so you can chat us if you have a quick question while you're working on something. And the chat's open during normal business hours, so that's a quick way to get in touch with us if you need a quick answer on something. Yeah.
We are always here to help if you run into any bumps along the way. So just feel free to chat us or email us or call us.
And we will be doing more office hours in the new year. So we're looking at opening up a series of office hours that will be happening more often and kind of more casual. So you can hop in and ask any questions or just listen to what other people are asking if you're not even sure what to ask yet, if you're new.
We did have
So
a question just pop up. Have we gotten any feedback from renters about getting these automated messages versus owners who communicate directly?
um, no, we haven't heard any feedback from the vacationers. Personally, when I'm using them, I do find that vacationers get them, but they don't always reply because it seems like a, form email that has all their information. So they get it and they read it. So then usually I check in with them just to make sure that they received it. If I'm on a text message thread with them, I'll just say something like, a few days after I've sent it, did you receive the email? Or maybe the day I'm sending it, I'll say, I'm sending you an email with all the information about the house. Can you just confirm with me that you received it? And that personal touch is always helpful, and you want to make sure that they received it. Because I don't know, people's spam filters are always filtering emails out for certain reasons, so that's always a possibility. But yeah.
And once you get this set up, guys, it's just such a easy, like, set it and not worry about it. I don't like to say set it and forget it, but like set it and not worry about it. It does take a little bit of time to set up like the templates and make it sound like your own. But it's just, especially once you get into the busy season, it'll be so nice to have it all organized for you this way.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another good point is if you do plan to use this, try to just get it all set up as soon as you can and make sure you fully set up the whole thing to the extent of how much you want to use it. So, because if you set up half of it now and you start accepting bookings and then you try to do the rest later, it just gets complicated of, who has what, where did I apply the defaults with which settings were already filled in, so just do everything you want to do now, get it set, and then as you add each booking, it's really clear, what to expect with each booking. And especially with those automated emails, you want to make sure that those are fully set up before you start sending them off. Make sure your attachments are all good to go, and yeah. Anything else before we sign off? Anybody have any other questions? Okay, great. Well, don't hesitate to get in touch if you need anything. We're here. lots of people answering phones for you, and we're always happy to help.